I'd like to spend a few minutes and talk about the macros and variables feature within Insight Maker. Oftentimes in the development of a simulation model, you end up with certain values or functions that are not predefined within Insight Maker that you actually need to use in multiple places within the simulation model. And you can, in fact, enter them in multiple places, though if you find that you need to tweak them or change them, then you have to go find all the places that you used them and ensure that you update all of the values appropriately. Insight Maker has a macros and variables feature that actually allows you to define variables so that in this particular instance it defines g, the acceleration due to gravity, as a value and a set of units, so that any place where I needed the acceleration due to gravity in the midst of the simulation model in the formulas, I could simply use g, and Insight Maker would do the substitution. Now, not only can you define variables, you can also define functions. One might be this one, where it defines my fn with parameters that are passed to it, so that in the equation someplace you actually use my fn and provide three values, and what it returns is the sign of a plus b plus c divided by the product of a, b, and c to wherever you used it. And it would be much easier to use this particular piece in different places if you need to use it repeatedly, as opposed to this ugly looking thing. And additionally, you can define more extensive functions as opposed to simply single line functions, such as this one, where it's a multi-line function where the function is defined and then some intermediate variables are developed based upon the parameters that are passed, and what it returns is the sign of xy. So this is actually the same, produces the same result as this function. It's just laid out differently and provides a sense that it can actually be much more extensive than simply a single line formula. If you need to take the parameters passed to it and calculate some intermediate values before you can figure out what's returned, you can do that in a function form as opposed to a single line function. And as I said, this turns out to be very, very convenient if you have something that you need to use in multiple places within the formulas, within the simulation, and you may have to tweak that function from time to time to get it to do what you really need it to do. It's much easier to go to the macros window and tune the function, and then it gets used in its new value all of the places that you used it, as opposed to having to go search and remember and find all of the places that you used it and update it. So it turns out to be a very useful function or feature of Insight Maker that I have found very valuable at times. So take care, and I'll see you in another video relatively soon.